Wonderful. Okay, we've got Diane Weberly, we've got Judy Luffman, great. Mary Mitchell, wonderful. Looks like Susan Trimble will be joining us. We'll see if anybody else does. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine, Susan. Okay, there's still 5 unassigned participants, so we'll wait just a moment before we start. Took me a while to maneuver and be able to join. So, oh, here's Bill Illy. Yay, Bill. Thank you for joining us. All right. So real quick, let's go around, introduce yourself, where you're from, and if your congregation is doing any particular thing. Well, let me introduce the topic first, and then we'll go around and do that, okay? So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can start my video. It may be that did you see it change?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great. We'll just do it that way. Eco-friendly congregational consumption is our topic. And just to remind you of some of the things that were said during our last webinar, people were changing out LED lights in their congregation. They were changing their heating and cooling systems to eco-friendly ones, including heat pumps. Some were changing out doors, windows, walls, dividers. People were returning to china glass and stainless steel instead of wasting a lot of paper and plastic with disposables. And there's always the option of going to eco-friendly disposables that you can toss away but are fully recyclable. And in addition, then you can use eco-friendly toilet crystals, beeswax food wraps instead of saran wrap, toilet paper that is made out of bamboo, believe it or not. That sounds awful, but it's actually soft and usable and available. You can use eco-friendly storage, returning to stainless steel straws, string bags, and glass containers, cloth coverings and bags for storage rather than, again, plastic bags and that kind of stuff. And of course, then a little bit on recycling, what's okay to recycle, what's not okay. The main thing is to keep all food, even little bits of food, out of the recycling bins, and any tanglers, plastic wrap, garden hose, Christmas lights, textiles, anything that would tangle up the sorting machines as the recycling stuff goes through. So that's a real quick recap of some of the things that were in those videos. So tell me who you are, where you're from, and is your congregation doing anything? And it's okay if they're not. I'm from Renton, by the way, and my congregation really hasn't gone this direction yet. I mean, I'm part of the congregation. We aren't really on board yet, except that we are moving back toward glass, china, and stainless steel instead of using disposable dishes at potlucks and stuff. Or we were before pandemic. We haven't had any potlucks recently, but we started that before.
I'm Susan Trimble. I'm from London, Ontario, Canada. And as well, my congregation has gotten away from all the disposables because we do have a dishwasher. So we were using those.
Excellent.
Well, I'm Bill Illy, part of the Salem congregation, but really where I live is my congregation. So I'm trying to help here at Castle Manor to try to get rid of stuff that we need to legally get rid of. But it's been a very difficult situation right now because we're still in the COVID situation. But anyway, I've been saving stuff. I still don't know where to get rid of it. So We used to be able to put everything out and separate it. Now everything seems to go together in one big trash bag, which is too bad. So I just have to say I'm doing what I can here and hoping other people are doing it. Okay.
Thank you, Bill. And we do understand how COVID has changed things. Yes, Diane.
I'm from Vancouver, Washington, or close to. The congregation that I attend had voted to work on LED lighting and some things like that, and that has not happened yet. So I was reminding my husband, who's on the building committee, that things pre-COVID that were kind of in the works just got stalled, and we need to bring them back up. Our group was very, we did limited watering and that kind of stuff to try to be more eco-friendly. We recycled for years, and we'd gone to not using like disposable cups for communion and not very much of the disposable things when we had potlucks and that type of thing. Again, as we're starting to come back, it's still a little bit paper stuff while we're trying to figure out this COVID thing, but we're looking forward to moving on, and I'm hoping to do more. I also work once a week at Portland, and they have a neighborhood, a garden that they actually use part of their parking lot, and they kind of did that lasagna method to build it up. And it was an individual, a community individual who got some money, a grant, to start this garden. And so it's not run by him anymore. Someone else has taken it over, but that just shows you how you can use so many different areas. If you have a area that's covered with cement or something, those areas can still be used. And Portland has just upgraded their heat pump and much more efficient. Well, the other one broke, so we had no choice, but we wanted to get something more efficient. And we've done recycling, and we've also changed out everything to LED. So that has been done. So they're a little further ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm envious. Yes, Judy.
This is, it's a challenge for us because we lease a small space in a small building. And so things like the HVAC system, all that kind of stuff is not anything we can control at all. We have added an air purifier because we are planning to meet for the first time in person in the building for next Sunday, first Sunday of Advent. And so to help people feel a little more confident, we have an air purifier and mask. Anyway, all right. We do not have a kitchen. We have a little tiny kitchenette. And so when we do potlucks, we have been using disposables, but I've just been thinking that, one action step we could do is to just have families bring their own supplies and take them home. That's the only way we can handle it. We have a sink, but it's not good water, and there's no dishwasher, and it's just a little tiny kitchenette. So, that might be one way to do it. We have a couple of recycle bins. One's for paper and common recyclable stuff. The other's for, Oregon has a bottle bill, so the other one's for cans and bottles where you get your 10 cents back. LED lights, I don't know. Do they? I need to look at this. Do they make them for the big ceiling fluorescent fixtures? That's all we've got. So that's a possibility as well, changing the lights. But as far as HVAC, we can't do anything about any of that.
No, they do make LED fluorescents. They are expensive.
That's good to know. Yeah.
But they are worth it, and the cost of running them eventually makes up for the cost of installing them. That's the neat thing about LEDs, is that usually if you figure out your cost and over the long haul, they will pay for themselves and more. They'll save you money eventually.
Yeah, and that's the other part of the dilemma. The space is a bit confining, and so we've been looking for a few years to try to find another space that's bigger. So in some ways, we're a little bit reluctant to invest in something like that because we might not be there. but it's certainly worth considering. It's not prohibitively expensive.
It'd be great. And the next people who stay there,
Yeah,
they
they'd
will
be there.
already have the ecological
Right.
sustainability, yep, built in. Excellent. Okay, Mary,
Portland even had their public utilities group actually contacted us and said, what have you been doing? Why, this is pre-COVID, why has your usage gone down so much? They were thinking there was some sort of fraud or something going on. And we said, well, these are the things that we've done. And they went, oh, well, I guess you were using up more than we realized. Okay. So, I mean, that's just a little testimony of the benefits.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. That's good news. Okay, Mary, did you want to share?
I'm from North Bay, Ontario, and our congregation rents a facility as well. One thing we have tried to do is that we can manage, because we have control over it, is our dishes and coffee cups and so on, that we can go to china cups or whatever, proper silverware and so on. So that's so far. Now, I haven't investigated anything about lead lights. That might be something that we could suggest to the landlord. I'll have to talk to the rest of somebody else in the congregation who knows more about it than I do. But on off topic, as far as consumption, and one thing that really bothers me, of course, with the whole COVID thing, is all these masks that are getting thrown away. I see them on the sidewalk. They end up in the water. It's just terrible. I try to wear actually a cloth mask that my daughter made as much as I can. And I know you're not supposed to supposedly reuse your masks, but I just feel terrible about throwing them away once one use. Anyway, that's my personal opinion as far as our consumption of these masks that we have to use to supposedly be careful. It really bothers me.
Listen, you can make or buy cloth masks, fully washable, fully reusable,
Yeah.
with a place for a little filter to go in if
Right.
you're concerned about the cloth not being able to filter appropriately.
Right.
So, and the filters still, I mean, let's face it, these filters are still disposable and have to be replaced and all of that. I understand that, but it's less waste
Yeah.
than doing the entire mask out of that material. So,
Right.
okay, great. So what are some possibilities that we haven't thought about yet, that haven't been named, that we aren't doing yet? Just put on your thinking caps and let's brainstorm. What else could a congregation or a facility of any kind do to make a difference in their consumption? There's all kinds of things we can do as people, but as a group, as a community. Yes, Susan.
Yes, what I'm thinking about is plastic bags for garbage. That seems to be, because we go through, I go through at my home. I try to use them as much as I can, the bags for garbage. I don't know, because then if you get paper bags, well, that's not a solution either. So I'm just trying to figure out for garbage disposal. And we have at church the big garbage containers with the big garbage bags. So there's got to be a better way than using plastic. I don't know what it is yet.
There are compostable bags that you can put stuff in, but they're primarily the small ones for compost, not huge ones for garbage cans. And even if they were huge for garbage cans, it would help a little if those were in landfill, because they would eventually disintegrate and go back into the soil. But I'm not aware of ones that size that we can use for garbage. Is anybody else? And they are expensive. Yeah, okay, just checking. But yeah, that's a concern. And decreasing our plastic consumption is a huge benefit to the environment any way we can. That's why the non-plastic storage is a critical component. Non-plastic silverware or straws, anything that cuts back on plastic is going to be helpful to the environment and to our future.
And you mentioned a beeswax storage wrap I don't think I've ever seen that in Canada, but you're able to use that?
Yes, indeed. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, it's that the company that I buy it from is Canadian.
I should have had these here handy to show you. This is one kind. It's a cloth. It's a cotton cloth. I don't know if you can see that. It's a cotton cloth. It's got a print on it. It's a sustainable ink, and it is covered with beeswax. And you take a container, and this one's you can wash them after your use, and you can wash it, 25, 30 times until it begins to wear out. This one's been used quite a bit. Put it over a container. This is my water, and squeeze it down, and there we go. The wax makes it mold against the container. Yep. So that it forms a seal around, the container. And so I can put this in the refrigerator and keep it for 3 or 4 days. Now, caveat, it is not airtight. You put a rubber band around the top of it, that helps. But what I'm telling you is you don't have to use saran. You can use this. Here's another one, and you can see I've not used it yet. Oh, I have used it once, but it's really stiff. You see how stiff it is? And you can see the folds in it where I've used it once. That's what tells me. And this will get more malleable as I reuse it, but it's a bigger piece than what I showed you. And it comes in all sizes, and it's just called Beeswax wraps. And there's like, I don't know, 10 or 12 different companies that make these, different sizes, different looks, some of them quite decorative. Make sure that you find one that says, ecologically sound or something like that. Okay. Yeah, those are wonderful. And
Well,
no, I'm not getting a kickback from the company.
I jokingly send a picture to my kids. My husband, when he makes French fries, he uses parchment paper, and then when he's done, he puts it in the freezer, and then he uses it again and again and again. I sent a picture to my kids. This is the 6th time. You don't have to oil. It's still there.
It's wonderful to see you all. We're going to be kicked out here any moment. Yeah. So it's not my choice to leave the breakout rooms. They will kick us out and back to the main room. But thank you so much. I'm sorry we didn't have more time. If you have more questions, please feel free to email me and let me know, and we will make sure that it gets on a list and posted. Anything that you're doing, and if you want to be interviewed about what your congregation is doing, connect with me. I'll do the interview with you, okay?